This is the GV Podcast, a variety review podcast featuring two of the three idiots giving their thoughts on cartoons and anime. This is an opinion-based podcast, and there's no way we're saying our thoughts and opinions are objective. Keep this in mind and enjoy the show.
Yo.
Boy.
Shut up.
Boys and girls of every age, wouldn't you like to see something strange? Come with us and you will gawk. This our town of Thriller Bark. Yo, that was terrible.
Alright,
Now for the
I'm
good
Denzu.
one. I'm Mayhem,
I'm Duke.
and we just watched the Thriller Bark thing of One Piece.
Yep. That was fun.
We just watched the next arc, and it's one of the first arcs in a while where it's just like this really small arc,
Self-contained.
like pretty self-contained, smaller than Skypiea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even with Skypiea, that was 2 arcs.
There is an element of Skypiea that I see paralleled with Thriller Bark. That's what I want to say.
Yeah,
Like I see something that like it's not integral, but it has things that are important to the main story.
yeah. That happens so often where there are arcs that everybody skips because they go, there's nothing to it. And then later on down the line, it's like, okay, you watched that arc, right? Because it's on the test.
Yeah. Or it'll get to a part where that part is referenced, the Skype is referenced or something, or an important part from the part that they skipped is referenced because it was important, because Oda knows what he's doing. He's not Akira Toriyama, he can forget half the shit he writes.
Mayhem had a similar moment where when we were watching Water 7, he noted that when Usopp was fighting, he's using the dials.
He's using the dials.
Yeah.
Which is an important thing that was introduced only in Skypiea.
Yeah, if you skip Skypiea, it's like, oh, where'd he get those dials from?
Like, what are those?
And
I
also,
don't get it.
And also, we see another dial being used, but that's like later.
We see dials all the time, basically.
Yeah. Dials become a staple now.
Yeah.
Because they're very important pieces of tech.
And I like the idea of them. I like them. And also the snails, I think, are like a evolutionary way down the line.
Yes.
Thing.
The telegram snails?
Yeah. That makes sense if they're connected to the dials.
It makes sense.
Let's go ahead.
Like a sky snail fell to the
or they could be communication dials.
Communication dials.
Yeah.
That snails have evolved to be a part of. Ooh.
Yeah. That's a bit of a stretch, but it's a cool little.
Well, because they
talk. It would fit.
That's a cool little tidbit.
So, how did you guys feel about Thriller Bark without giving too much spoilers?
Honestly, I will admit it was a bit of a relief that this arc was a lot shorter than Skypiea.
Yeah.
Skypiea kind of dragged down a bit, but it was so good. I still really like Skypiea.
Yeah.
Skypiea was pretty good.
I would rather watch Skypiea again than rewatch Thriller Bark.
Really?
Yes.
I'll be honest, I would rewatch this a couple times because of the fact that Skypiea is long. Like, I love Skypiea, but it is a very long one.
It's one that, you prefer to watch it once, only, if you're rewatching the entire thing.
Plus, in all fairness, I'll say this. When it comes to Thriller Bark, it's got one thing immediately going for it that I'd rewatch it for, and it's the new character introduced, yeah.
Yeah, it's the new character that gets added, which is now one of my favorite characters now.
Number 3 favorite of the Straw Hats?
He's number 3,
Is he number 3 favorite of the entire show? Actually, that's a good question. Is there any character that goes above any character in the Straw Hats? I imagine.
Shanks.
Shanks, really? Is he the only one?
I like Shanks' crew.
Shanks.
Like Lucky Rube and Beckman and Yasopp.
Yasopp. And then the line where that guy points the gun at him and he goes, "That's not for pointing at people." What?
Are you gonna... Just that moment of, are you gonna do it? It's like, what?
Hey, that's not for pointing at motherfuckers.
That's not for threats. That's for doing shit.
For doing it, yeah.
Just Lucky Roo with the immediate shot.
He still has meat in his mouth.
Yeah, Lucky Roo
as a man should be.
Lucky Roo is awesome for so many reasons of the fact that he's the simple guy that we don't know much about, but he's involved enough.
And it's subtle too. It's subtle.
Shanks is not the one to mention the devil fruits in the original. He's not the first one to mention devil fruits.
It was
Lucky Roo.
It was
Lucky Roo was the first one to mention, you just ate the gum fruit.
He was the first to notice too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so in my overall, touching on it real fast, Shanks is in the top 10, Ace is in the top 10, Vivi's in the top 10.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Blackbeard is number 11.
Really? I like that.
But yeah, going back to Thriller Bark, I will say, going through this, it was like I did enjoy it, but it's not my favorite.
I'm gonna make a guess for why. Villains.
The villains and
villains are pretty egregious.
And the hammering in comedy.
Okay, so I'll have a comment about the villain a little later on because I have an interesting point that I get to mention.
Yeah.
But for now,
we'll touch on
I'll say my opinion of this arc.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved it. Like, it's that right level of goofy for me. And that's what I seek from One Piece. I seek the goof.
You seek the goof, not the One Piece?
I seek the goof.
The goof piece?
I really like the writing of this.
I'm looking for the all goof.
Like the all goof? The one goof?
The one goof is real!
Can we get much higher?
Can we get much goofier?
Wait, you were saying
anyways, so I really like the writing of this, where the way Oda set it up was he had the characters who are normally the scaredy cats of the group go first, have them experience everything, freaking out, and being like, "Oh my god, this is crazy!" And it's a fun way to introduce the Thriller bark itself.
Yeah, with the characters that won't solve the problem as soon as they see it.
Yeah, it also kind of it helps kind of build up Thriller bark too. It makes you really it makes it a little bit more imposing, and then they fucking destroy that implosion with the rest of the crew coming in and not giving a help.
It was the best. Honestly, the way I saw that, what you just described was the best part about this entire arc. The way that they set it up of like showing how strong it is, and then reminding you how strong our guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't nerf any of the characters. They're still just as strong. And the new guy, Brook, proves why he deserves a spot.
Yeah.
He's also funny.
He's also
genuinely one of the funniest members right now.
But like, imagine a different version of Thriller Bark where Brook is the only point. Brook is the most
he's the
comic relief. He would have been the comic relief where everybody else is just like, oh my god, and he's just like, yo.
Yeah.
There was something that I remember hearing that I was really a fan of. The cool thing about One Piece is that everybody gets at least 2 arcs to shine.
Yeah.
Like 2 massive sagas to shine.
Yeah.
And so, like, we've seen that all the time of, like, Robin. Like, we saw her shine as a villain, and then we saw her shine as, like, this character that was so mysterious, and you're just wondering why. Then you get her backstory, and it's like, oh my god. Every character basically gets that kind of moment. I thought there was something on the roof for a second.
Spiders!
Robin was another really fun setup character. Because you meet her as Miss All Wednesday, or Miss All... What was it?
All Sunday.
All Sunday. Miss All Sunday. And she's introduced as a villain, and she kind of fucks everything up.
Yeah.
But Oda does a really good job of keeping her powers ambiguous, because at first she just kind of shows up blowing up everything, but then you realize she has hand stuff.
Hands.
She can call
She's
hands.
handsy.
She likes to call hands with Spanish words.
I still find it funny that the guy that she supposedly killed turned out to be alive, so then everybody doesn't hate her. Like, the people...
yeah.
When she was first introduced, that way she isn't hated as much.
That's the interesting thing about One Piece.
Yeah.
That's the interesting thing about One Piece. No one really dies, like, heavy, basically.
Yeah.
That's the best way to put it. No one dies heavy. Well, early on...
well...
Okay.
I'm just staring at Duke. I'm giving Duke the look. Like,
well, no, I'm saying most characters that die in One Piece die for backstory purposes.
backstory.
Right, like Bellemere.
Most characters.
In Nami's
Bellemere. Who was it? Usopp's mom.
Usopp's mom passed
Brooke.
away.
Brooke's entire crew is a good example,
including
honestly.
his dumbass.
Including him.
I like how they knew that it was the revive.
Tom from Frankie.
Yeah.
All these characters, they die for
Dr.
backstory.
Hirlook.
Oh my god, Dr. Hirlook. Do you know that apparently in the manga he's more of an asshole?
Yeah, he's a lot more of a dickhead in the manga.
And
he's less likable. So in the anime,
he's less likable, which means the anime is
that.
better in that occasion.
Yeah,
I understand that.
The writing for the anime his character is a lot better.
It becomes the best arc, one of the best arcs in the anime, and a weaker arc in the manga.
Yeah,
that's interesting, right? Like, happens very few times for most shows.
One Piece is the only anime that where the manga will have some pretty shitty parts about it with certain characters, and the anime changes that, and it's for the better.
Yeah,
that's the only show. It's the only fucking show that does that.
And it works.
Every other show always ruins it when it transitions from manga to anime. They always shit on it somehow.
Yep, I agree. But let's go ahead and talk about this story, because it's not too complex.
So I can tell it.
Oh, go right ahead if you want.
Do
you want
arrives...
the episode guide?
No. I will go off the top of my head.
Go right ahead. We watched it in about...
find it first.
Hey, in all fairness, we watched it in about 5 days.
Yeah, we watched it very quick.
We watched it quick.
But, so we start with the crew taking the Sunny to the Florian Triangle.
Oh, there's also the Death of the Mary, which was pretty heavy.
Well, that was previous arc.
But it was heavy.
Oh, yeah. We're still reeling from that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that thing died still, yeah.
Oh, reminder.
That
so,
thing?
our ship died. She died.
So anyway.
You feel nothing for your car?
I mean...
Your car peers through the window?
Malice.
Honk, honk.
Honk! 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 Honk!
I was gonna say, that'd be hilarious. You see your car, like, reel up in the window. Looking like the car from Roger Rabbit. Like, you don't feel nothing for me?
Come on, bro.
You feel nothing for me?
I'm fucking here. Say it to my face.
Say it to my face.
Yeah. They go to the Florian Triangle.
Which was so easily, they could have called it the Floridian Triangle.
Or the... Or not the Bermuda Triangle.
Or not the Bermuda. Yeah, just say
Bermuda.
The not Bermuda Triangle. Yeah.
So is it like
it's
the Bermuda
spooky,
Triangle?
scary.
No, it's not the Bermuda Triangle.
In case anybody doesn't know, this is the Halloween themed.
Oh my
arc.
god. It's
Yes.
my favorite bit that a lot of this arc is inspired by a bunch of different things when it comes to Halloween.
It had to have been inspired by Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
most of it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome. Like there's even 3 characters that go up to the villain that are definitely the 3 kids from
Yeah.
Nightmare
The
Before
three-
Christmas.
The 3 little kids.
I mentioned this, and
Halloween.
This is
Halloween.
my sister,
DMCA's.
my sister-in-law loves Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, because it's a great ass movie.
This
Well,
is
no,
copyright.
when I say that, I
This
mean
is copyright.
with her entire family. Basically, they're obsessed with it, and so I can't wait for like my nephew to start watching One Piece and just go to my sister-in-law like, okay, you're gonna want to watch this one.
You're gonna want to pay attention now.
Like, especially when the main villain popped up with the shape of him.
Oh yeah.
I was just every time he popped up, what have we here?
What have we here? Oh,
What's this?
Monkey
What's
D.
this?
Luffy. I'm really scared. But yeah, they hear the bat.
By the way, that screamed up to the camera up into his mouth is still the best thing.
Yes. So they're in the Florian Triangle. They're going across, and they they get spooked. Like, was it Usopp telling this story?
No.
About like the scary story about the Florian Triangle.
Scary story about that's the best joke
Wasn't that
because
Robin?
of
Was
it's
it?
everyone.
Everybody. Yeah.
Everyone is telling
Oh,
the
and they're all
thing.
fucking with Uso. That's the whole point.
Yeah, they're all
Yeah.
messing with Usopp and Nami.
Yeah.
Like, I think specifically it was Nami
Chopper.
at first that they were messing with. Or no, it was Chopper at first they were messing with. And then it went to Usopp.
Usopp, yeah. It just...
Of like, come on guys, you're freaking him out, Sanji. Speaking of which,
Yeah.
boats disappear all the time in this area.
Yeah, they talk about boats disappearing and all that kind of stuff, and people never come back out.
Yeah,
Plague.
they end up
plague
entering
ships.
Planes and boats.
the heavy
and-
fog.
Did you guys know that there's more planes in the ocean than submarines in the sky?
Never say that again.
No
Mayhem.
way.
Hey, Mayhem.
Yeah?
Never say that again. Never say anything to me ever again.
Oh, okay.
In fact, I'm taking this over again.
Okay. Hello,
So,
Jitsu.
heavy fog rolls over,
Hello, Mario.
and a ship rolls up.
Yo, 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 yo.
And it's just so good of like you just hear it's the classic pirate like yo ho, but it's this ominous noise playing, and you see this skeleton roll on up, and at first you're like, what the hell is going on?
Oh,
And-
it's a skeleton chicken.
But you start laughing when you realize he's a singing afro skeleton.
Yeah, he's got an afro. His afro survived his.
And Luffy immediately is like, we're going up there. So he goes up with Sanji and
I love Luffy's
Nami.
attitude towards everything. It's like, yo, holy shit! He's a free afro! We gotta check it out!
My crew! I need him on my crew! My ship, now! Skeleton, get over here!
But he and Nami and Sanji go up there, and they meet a man by the name of Brook. Who is a singing afro skeleton,
Yep.
and immediately just the best character of making all these jokes with them of like going up to Nami and like, you're the apple of my eye. That is if I had any eyes.
That is to say, if I had any.
That laugh
And
is
that's
contagious.
his laugh.
That laugh is super contagious. It was super annoying at first, but I couldn't help but warm up to it.
Yeah.
I just imagine
Just like
you
my
the
laugh.
I just imagine you the entire time watching it, just like, man, this laugh is stupid. This laugh is really, really stupid.
Getting to me.
This is getting to me.
What's going
on?
This laugh is really.
What's happening?
It's taking over me!
Your skin starts falling off as you become Brooke.
The way Ryuma says,
We are. So they bring him aboard, and they're just like, they're talking to him, learning his story, how he ate the revive fruit. And when his crew died, his soul came by, he died also.
But his soul came back. He
And found his body, and was just like, alright, here we go. And he is now a living skeleton.
Yeah. Well, no, he was looking for his body, but he was looking for a year. So that's why it's a skeleton.
So his body just went away, essentially, and all that's left was a skeleton.
God, what if he didn't finish decomposing and he was just...
Oh, he's a zombie, yeah.
In all fairness, that's kind of what did happen, he didn't stop decomposing, because, consider, his afro's still there. Yeah, which means that is the last... Oh, wait, no, that was a joke, remember?
All the skin, meat...
He has deep roots.
I forgot about that amazing joke. Of like, wait, why is your afro still there? I've got very deep roots.
I've got deep roots.
I have quite deep roots.
But I don't feel like I could. Good. But I don't know if I could grow it back, so I don't want to cut it off.
You know, just imagine they come back, he comes back, and you just see his, almost zombie looking. Yeah. Still got skin and shit. It's
Would Luffy be as interested?
No, imagine he searched for half a year, saw that the body was still decomposing. Let me wait till 6 months.
I'm gonna wait.
Ooh.
Imagine, oh god, that has to be traumatic, watching yourself decompose. Here we are, talking about death again.
Again. Every time.
They bring him aboard the ship, everybody's having a good meal.
Eccentric entrance.
And they just...
Everybody's reaction's hilarious.
Everybody reacts so funny. And how they also go, wait, you don't even have a shadow! And he's just like, well, I lost my shadow.
No. First they don't notice his reflection.
Oh yeah.
They tried taking a picture with him or something, or no, they were showing him a mirror. Like, yeah. You got something on your face.
Like, look, you're a ghost, and just and looks over and he's got no reflection, and they realize he's got no shadow. So it's like, what the hell? And he goes, oh yeah, no, if I have no shadow because of that, if I go out into the sunlight, I will die fully.
Why
I will disintegrate
in the heavy fog of the Floridian Triangle.
The Floridian Triangle.
Yeah.
So Brooke then leaves because So
we're in Tim Burton and Alice in Wonderland.
But yeah, Luffy asked him to be part of the crew, and Brooke is just like, nah, I need my shadow. That's more important to me.
They end up hitting a wall.
Oh yeah, they get doomed,
and they find out, oh shit, we're trapped in something. And later on, it's obvious that what it is they're trapped in Thriller Bark now.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. There's a funny joke that I want to bring up because it gets brought down. It gets brought up later. And it's fucking hilarious. So the first interaction Luffy has with the skeleton is, do you poop?
Yes.
Do you poop?
Oh, yes, I poop.
Yes. I certainly do. And then he asks him, you want to join my crew? Yes. And that's it. The poop joke will come back. I promise.
Don't worry. The poop will return.
Oh.
It's like the end credits for Avengers where it says Captain
Marvel
will return. In this case, it's like the poop will return.
The poop will return.
How would you feel if you saw that?
The poop will return for Sabaudi arc. For Sabaudi Park.
It's like, what was it, Thanos, at the end of it, Thanos will return, and then in this, it's like, the poop will return in Sabaudi.
Especially if I didn't have any context for that, I would be terrified.
Yeah.
Just, what does that mean?
But anyway, we land in Thriller Bark. He goes, it's been a pleasure. Now I'm going to go off and mess some shit up.
I'm going to try to get my shadow back. Might as well.
And so Luffy and the crew...
They agree to help him get his shadow back. Because they're like, we're not doing anything better.
Yeah. Luffy and the crew end up going to Thriller Bark itself to try to figure out what the hell's going on. And it starts with Nami, Usopp, and Chopper going off to explore the area. And the entire time, they get to meet zombies and ghouls and
ghouls
shit.
And ghosts, oh my!
Ghouls and ghosts and oh my. And
All Might, hello.
they eventually
And
get to
Tree's
meet.
a unicorn sharing a cup of sake.
Hey.
Yes. They eventually get to meet a doctor by the name of Dr. Hogback.
Hogback,
And they find out that he's the reason that these zombies exist. Basically,
He stitched them together.
He stitched them together.
And Chopper, being the doctor that he is,
He's like, wow, you're extending life. That's
he
amazing.
found out how to revive the dead. And there's definitely no immoral implication going on at all.
And
Yes,
they
exactly.
They continue looking around, and there is one point when, like, there's one character in here where his first 2 points were like, oh, wow, I hate this guy. And he didn't get much better, but he became okay, almost tolerable.
Yeah, what's the
essentially.
first thing that he
Absalom.
interacts with? What's the first
Robin.
thing he does?
He
Robin.
licks her. Licks her and
Like from the boob up.
boob up.
Is that like a one-up?
No.
I don't think we should mention the whole thing with Nami.
He violates both the women in the Straw Hats crew
Yeah.
in the way that makes us all go, oh,
Yeah, let's not talk about the bathtub scene.
that's all that
Well,
we'll
the
get for that.
Invisible Man was there.
The Invisible Man was there, and he did what the Invisible Man does.
I do kind of find it funny the way that, like, a lot of the different characters in this are rooted in, like, classic horror movies.
the classic
Like, you
ones,
got
Dr. Frankenstein.
Ghost, you got Dr. Frankenstein, and then you've got the Invisible Man. And, like, it's weird that of all things, they go for Invisible Man.
I think it's also, like, just a good power to have. Like, invisibility.
Also, it's a little interesting thing for Sanji later on down the line.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get to that. But yeah, no, they are exploring the area, and they realize that shit's weird, so they end up heading over to Dr. Hogback to figure out, like, what the hell's going on, and they find out that what's going on is he's making these zombies, but he's not returning them to life or anything. He's just making them.
He's just putting them together, yeah.
Yeah. And they realize that his assistant that he had, this woman who was obsessed with breaking plates, she was also a zombie. And so they break in, like, getting ready for, like trying to run away, essentially. And a certain voice pops out of the shadows. A yo-ho-ho voice pops out of the shadows. But it is not Brooke. It is, in fact, a samurai from Wano.
Using a very strong sword and sounding a lot like Brooke. It's
By
weird.
the name of Ryuma.
Shimotsuki.
Shimotsuki Ryuma.
Ryuma Shimotsuki. Which, if you don't know, the school that Zoro went to, where he learned from, was the Shimotsuki school.
Wait, Zoro's from Wano?
We don't know if he's from Wano, but we know that his school is from Wano.
Oh my god, okay.
So there's understand, he's got the amazing power of getting lost heavily, and so it's a possibility that he was from Wano and got lost.
That would be that would have been a really good detail.
He's
That
also-
outside of the Grand Line, his sense of direction is terrible, but inside the Grand Line, it's much better.
Oh, that'd be hilarious.
That'd be cool.
That'd be a really good detail.
Or what if it was the exact opposite? In all fairness, like apparently he's aligned similar to a compass, but once he enters the Grand Line where compasses don't work,
Oh yeah, he's just.
He's like, something's not right. I don't know where I'm going.
it's like there's that scene. I think it's from a movie or something where Zoro, he's up on a hill and just the crew on the ship just like, hey, where's Zoro? Oh shit, we lost him again. And you see the ship way out into sea, and you just see Zoro on top of a hill. Boy.
Guys.
Boy. Just the way, no, even better, the face just, boy.
Wait a second, I'm not on the boat right now. That's wrong.
It truly is the way that he pauses. It's the, hey, that's 1,000 Sunny. Wait a minute.
Well, oi means hey.
Yeah. Hey.
Right.
Hey. It's so good.
Guys, stop. Come back.
But other than that, we get Ryuma ends up basically knocking them all out. They get taken away, but they eventually break out, obviously, and they have a whole
It's hijinks.
It's Scooby-Doo.
It's Scooby-Doo, yeah. Chopper as Scooby, Shaggy, and Usopp the same, and Velma and Nami.
Yeah, it's Scooby-Doo up to the point where Nami
be
gets
Daphne,
kidnapped.
it's not.
Or Daphne.
It's Scooby-Doo up to the point where Nami gets kidnapped by Invisible Man. Well, after meeting a certain pig character by the name of Lola.
Lola.
You know, I just realized
What?
Usopp's English voice actor kind of sounds like Scooby's English voice actor.
Like,
Imagine hearing Krillin going like Scoob.
Yeah.
like Chopper, we gotta get out of here, man.
But
Bravo, Usopp.
now that we've gotten to a certain point, we can go ahead and mention the fact that Frankie, Robin, Luffy, Zoro, and Sanji all are destroying the island.
They're the Fred, where
they're just running through.
They're the. This seems interesting. I wonder if I poke it with a stick.
What if I just
and
kill everybody?
And if it tries jumping at me, I'll just kill it.
It's literally just.
And then the best joke of all of One Piece happens.
Go ahead.
Where they're in the graveyard, and the zombie pops up out of the grave, and Luffy walks up to it, and he pushes the zombie back down.
I love his like reaction to it. He looks like the like blank face, like, oh my god. Drops his net, walks up to the zombie.
Go back, pushes him back down. The guy pops back up. What are you doing? And he goes, "Oh, a grievously injured old man. I'm a zombie!" Which then follows up later on where this guy pops up to them and he goes up, "Oh, a zombie!" And he's like, actually, I'm just a grievously injured old man. This is a funny arc, by the way. Genuinely, this is funny arc.
It's funny, but there's certain, like, while you're watching it, there are some moments where you're like, okay, come on.
This is truly the arc, by the way, where Oda said, I want to make as many jokes where I could make myself laugh. I'm betting he rewatches this every so often just for a good laugh.
Yeah,
this is the arc he rewatches.
This is 80% jokes in this entire
It's 80% his arc.
Yeah, 80% jokes. So, meanwhile, I prefer 60-40.
I was going to say, I know this is the thing I was going to mention earlier, but your main problem with this arc, I remember, was the villains because they're all idiots.
They're basically when they're... It's in the same way that the heroes... Stupid laughs. That very much helps. But their personality is supposed to be like a mimic of the crew where like they do what they're set up to do. Like they're the villains, so they do like the bad things. But they're incompetent also in that whenever they're together they always just argue and just don't get anything done.
Oh.
Just like with the main crew.
I think what... Actually, that's a good point. Of like they're basically like the main crew, except a little weaker.
Exactly. I understand why you would do that, but I would do that for like the joke crew, like the Foxy Pirates.
Yeah.
Like the Foxy Pirates for Skypiea, they weren't so much integral to the plot. They just got in the way. That's what I feel like these guys were made for.
Which do you prefer?
The Foxy Pirates or these guys?
Yeah.
These guys.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
I hate the Foxy Pirates.
I was gonna say, I knew that you hated the Foxy Pirates.
But in the same way, but like more of like I give a comparison that they should have been like their personalities, their character types fit more as a Foxy Pirate-esque sort of crew.
Yeah. Like
against the Straw Hats that they just annoy them, they don't really threaten them.
Once we get to the main villain, I've got something interesting to talk about, okay?
Yeah.
But we'll get to it. No, I know what you're talking about, by the way, with the laughs, by the way. Okay, so obviously the laughs in this one are egregious, but they're in the same way that like most One Piece laughs are. Like Kaido in The Way Off Future.
Oh god, he's got a laugh like that?
Well, kind of. He's got more a battle cry than an actual laugh.
Okay, good.
That's different. His battle cry is
and he laughs like that too.
He laughs
like that's his laugh. It's basically everybody's got a One Piece laugh that is half laugh, half battle cry, essentially, is the best way to put it.
It's like everybody has like a specific kind of speech impediment that influences only
like
the laugh.
Blackbeard.
Yeah.
Like Blackbeard's got the yeah, he's got all that. Meanwhile, you've got the ones in this arc where it was what was Gecko Moria? I think his laugh was like something like that.
Yeah.
While Dr. Hogback was fuss.
It was like that for the sub also, Jinsu.
Yes.
Oh, I'm murdering you.
But it's more like Bosch instead of Bosch.
Oh, Bosch.
Yeah.
And then there was Perona with
hers. I get like Duke had the best way to explain her laugh. That she heard Hogback and Gecko Moria laugh so she wanted to try and make her own version of it. So she like to stay on brand. So she forces herself to laugh like that.
What was it? Or something like that?
Yeah, it was more of a word saying like this.
Yeah, or something
That
like
sounds
that.
more like onomatopia.
Yeah.
And those are the same noises her ghosts make.
Yeah.
But
yeah, like she was, but it mainly was that she was staying on
one
brand.
that they weirdly enough either minimized or cut out fully is the fact that Absalon also has one. His is a grararara kind of laugh. But I think he says it in such a way that it doesn't register.
I've never heard him laugh though.
Yeah,
exactly.
I don't remember him ever. He'll like.
He apparently does have one.
I think Oda, especially when he was writing it, he definitely
wrote it a lot more. I'm betting.
Yeah, he definitely wrote it a lot, but it was in moments that like didn't work. That's why I think Absalon is actually the best out of the crew, out of them, because he actually like
because they cut out his laugh.
Not just because they cut out his laugh, but because he was actually like had a clear goal, was doing everything to complete that goal, and was being threatening to the crew.
Which was being a total complete pervert.
Exactly, which is a villain that I wanted to see
At least
fail.
it's a villain.
That I wanted to see fail, yeah.
But,
there's the three types of villains. One you want to see fail, one that's too cool for you to say anything otherwise, and is so... what was it? It was... You want to see fail, is too cool, and is...
Sympathetic.
Is sympathetic, yeah. Sympathetic was the last
The
one.
audience can sympathize with them, and they can... You don't want them to get off, but you know they're bad.
I remember there was this list of like One Piece villains where it's like some villains you feel sad for and want to see the best for. Some villains you love no matter how bad they are. Some villains you just hate, and then some villains you want to see castrated.
Okay. But yeah,
and it's like minor characters that are just assholes.
And some characters you want to see burned at the stake, like the witches from Sailor Moon.
Like the witches from Sailor Moon. Oh, but
no, not from Sailor Moon, from Salem.
Salem.
I thought you said Sailor Moon.
I thought you said Sailor Moon also.
Salem.
But
like the horrifying
event.
The horrifying history of America.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. We
have no horrifying history ever.
We didn't kill 100 million people.
You did.
That was
Jinzu.
Russia.
Just going, you did, Jinzu.
That was South Africa.
You know the way we work. We blame literally everybody else. So in other words, Jinzu, you murdered 100 million people.
History is
Native Americans.
History is written by the victors, and damn did we win.
Okay, more story. So they run through. We got another good joke, one of my favorites personally, with the ghosts that were rolling around, because we get to see hints of all these different villains, but nothing major yet.
Yeah, they're very subtle with them.
The next big one was these ghosts that were flying around, and when they go through you, you feel negative emotion, like you fall to the ground. And Luffy, every time he gets hit, I don't deserve to be alive. I should be reborn as a shellfish.
As a sea cucumber. As an octopus.
And then when Zoro gets hit by it, he goes,
oh my god, so good.
I was born.
It's just Chris about going, oh, I'm not even worth dog food. It's just so good. And then Sanji making fun of him for it. But yeah, no, they make it all the way through. And once they make it to the castle, that's when things start going awry. They're picked off one by one, excluding Robin and Frankie.
Yeah.
And
all the kids get taken.
Yeah. Luffy, Sanji, and Zoro end up getting taken. And we get to meet who is the big bad of this season? A guy by the name of Gecko Moria.
Which, when you first see him, you go, oh. And then you see him the rest of the time, you go, oh.
I don't think that stops, by the way.
His character design is definitely unique and cool, but not cool, but it's like...
It's striking.
Why is his neck long, but he has no legs?
Why does he not have a head?
Okay, it's the reason for later on.
Why is he all neck? He has no chin!
Jinzu, for later on, 2 drumsticks. You'll understand when I mention it again later.
2 drumsticks?
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Character design shapes.
We'll get to it. But for more of the story, we get... Yeah, their shadows are taken as...
Yeah, so Gecko Moria's power is that he has the shadow fruit, and what he does is, when somebody's shadow is in front of him, he could literally pick it up off the ground and cut it off their feet.
Yep.
He peels it off.
it immediately knocks the person out for several days. And he ends up being able to put the shadow into any body or into himself.
Yeah. And the powers of that person is transferred over in that shadow.
And so that is why...
Not their powers. Their techniques.
Their techniques, yeah.
Their techniques.
And skills.
So, and that is why we end up getting... We end up getting the biggest zombie that they've ever made. What was it, number 900?
Number 9... Special zombie number 900, Ors.
Which, his design, again, when you see it for the first time, you go, oh! And then you see him move, and you go, oh.
And then you see his legs and go, it's toothpicks.
Toothpicks. Well, that's One Piece. In all fairness, that's just One Piece.
He was the continent mover, as the characters build him up to be, and he got little toothpicks.
You gotta imagine this image, by the way, of him actually moving a continent, and like he's in the water and everything, pushing it, but then you look underneath and you see...
It's like Mr. Krabs. Mr. Krabs, yeah.
Yeah, I need Mr. Krabs sound effects in that moment. But just imagine that for a minute. But, we get Ors, who, even if he's got shrimpy legs, holy shit, this guy looks awesome.
He looks awesome. He reminds me of, like, if Oda designed a version of Ganon.
We also get, I'll be honest, one of my favorite of the villain characters in Ors, because of the fact that he has the shadow
of Luffy.
He's got the personality of Luffy.
So it's literally
the best thing ever.
I'm gonna be king of the pirates!
I don't know how they do it in Japanese, but I'm assuming it's similar to what they do in English, where they just have the voice actress of Luffy play Ors.
Yeah.
Except in English, they also add a bit of a second filter with like a lower pitched voice.
They do that.
Okay, good.
The English has to copy the Japanese, or else it won't. It'll be very annoying.
It's so funny. Just hearing Luffy just, I'm gonna be king of the pirates. And the fact that they do that with all the zombies, by the way.
Yeah, that they voice those that. Whoever shadow it is.
Like the dog thing being Sanji.
Yeah,
and the one dude in the...
Dogwin.
Dogwin.
Do you forget the name of Dogwin?
Yes. Well, what about...
I can't let you guys hit a woman!
What about Zoro? What was his?
It was just a normal... he didn't... I don't think he had...
But he had, like, weird shit on him.
Yeah.
And every time all the zombies charge! There's the enemies! Go get him! Everybody run towards him, and then you see Zoro's zombie run in the opposite direction.
Yeah, he gets everything from him. But we get that, and now we are all set up for what fights are to come, basically. Everyone's gathering together.
Luffy gets ready to kick Gecko Moria's ass.
Around the time that all that is happening with Ors, we end up getting Frankie and Robin, as they're trying to handle the zombies that are all around them, get saved by Brook, who reveals the way to stop these zombies.
Their counter is salt.
Because of the explanation... Sea salt.
That it's of the sea. And
that is such a good...
Gecko Mori's power is a devil fruit, so the sea can repel the devil fruit.
But also the fact that it's combining the whole thing of, like, purified salt from horror movies...
Exactly,
into the world of One Piece. It works so well.
Imagine if Luffy, Chopper, Robin, and Brook, like, they couldn't eat salt due to the same reason.
Yeah.
Imagine if that was a thing.
And that's why it's specified that it's just for the power.
Yeah, for the power of the devil fruit. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the counter to the shadow fruit.
Well, technically, you would die if you consumed that amount of salt.
I don't know. You're still going. You're still kicking.
I'm not human, my man.
He balances it with sugar.
You see, I'm actually the opposite of a devil fruit user.
A god fruit.
He's a
god junk food user.
The junk food fruit.
He's angel trash fruit.
Angel trash.
I ate the angel trash fruit.
What does that mean?
It means that I can only swim.
In the ocean.
So the fishman.
No. It's devil fruits for fishmen.
Yeah.
But so this is just such a fun arc. Honestly, we get the setup.
It's very light for the stuff shown in this. Like if this was in any other property, all of this stuff, this would be like super dark. But thanks to Oda's like wanting to laugh and have jokes and
any other arc, it'd be Overlord.
Thanks to Oda's sense of humor.
Yeah, he's just able to make jokes constantly, and it's like there are ones that like I'm not expecting that like I hear it and I just burst out laughing from what I've been able to hear.
And most of them are Brooke.
Yeah, most of them are Brooke. Yeah, but I will say that I am starting that if it happens again in the next arc, I will start to go more into the dislike. If that every single character has a funny personality, like not so much the
oh, I know what you're talking about.
The crew and the villains that they fight, but the regular people that show up, the citizens, those that are just that they're on the sidelines, when they themselves are saying saying a bunch of jokes and stuff like that. I understand, like, it's been really funny, like, especially when it was in Water 7, when it first happened, when all of the people in Water 7 had a personality and all that kind of stuff. That was great. In this one, it is starting to, like, like, Oda is more focusing on them saying their joke than getting back to the story. When it comes to an expense at the story, that's when I don't like it.
Want me to give you a good example of basically what it is like this season to the next season?
What?
This is the Hunter exam.
What?
Goofy, over the top, right? This is the Hunter exam. Next season's Chimera Ant.
But Hunter x Hunter ain't goofy like that though.
No, season 1 is
but
pretty
like
goofy.
the not.
No, the way it misleads you of like it's a pretty goofy like Dragon Ball show.
Slapstick humor?
Yeah, a bit more slapstick.
But you know what I'm talking about, Jinsu, where like if I don't that there were moments when the side characters were like saying their jokes and all that kind of stuff, but I was just like, get back to the fight.
But no, what I'm saying otherwise is the best way to put it is this is Hunter's exam of like pretty light show. Next season's Chimera Ant is the best way to put it.
And that's how I'll have to take it. But yeah, so Jinsu, what did you think of like the regular people with them saying their jokes and stuff like that?
Like what do you mean? Like
you know where like when the zombies.
The fact that most...
Well, not that I don't like it. It's that I feel like it overstays its welcome. That's what I feel.
I'm confused. What?
When it's not the crew, like the Straw Hats or the main villains, when it's just like the regular people, like in Water 7, that's people that live in Water 7. When like they say their stuff, like their jokes or whatever, like when they're interacting and on screen, that like when it was the those people that want their shadows back, when it's them saying their jokes and stuff like that, I'm kind of like, okay, get back to the story. Show the fight.
Yeah, I did feel like a little bit of padding.
Yeah, it extended the time. Yeah.
I'll say this, and basically, no offense, but in all fairness, you gotta get used to it. It's a humorous world.
Yeah,
that's the point of it.
I don't hate the humor. It's just that it overstays its welcome.
That's what I'm saying. It's a humorous world.
It's gonna overstay its welcome,
and it's not meant to overstay its welcome. But obviously, it's basically Oda looking at a moment and going, "Oh, this would be funny."
Yeah, that's one thing to do, like a joke.
That's what he does all the time.
But it feels like padding. It felt like padding. But thankfully, though, it wasn't really for that long. It was only for like.
Yeah, that's why I say that it doesn't affect.
Looking
me
at
too
future
bad
stuff,
now.
luckily, it doesn't do it anymore.
If it doesn't get worse, then it'd be fine.
But when regular civilians are also making jokes and shit, it's so funny. Like in Water 7, when Chopper's like screaming for everybody, and then he slides in the "and Usopp come back too,"
and then the people like Zoro
and Usopp too. Yeah.
That's good.
See, yeah, that's like one of those really good jokes. That's just like it brings character to the people.
It brings character to the world.
But if it wasn't part of the story, like finding Usopp and everybody like that, like Chopper doing that, it would be like, okay, but do they find it?
I'm curious though. Can you give me? I don't see it. Understand? Like, I'm biased. Like, I don't see it.
What was it? It was like when Luffy was talking to them in the woods, like giving him his powers with the shadows.
Okay.
Is that like I felt like they were just talking too long.
Okay.
For somebody like Luffy.
Okay.
That like Luffy would have been like, okay, let's go. But then they're saying things and then, yeah, it took us a while. And then we were like, yeah, maybe we should just save these. And I'm just like, okay.
Yeah, that part was a little annoying.
I was like, yeah.
I was watching that and I was also getting
everybody else is, but what about with everybody trying to survive Oars?
Side characters. You're saying side characters. You've been saying normal citizens. Those are not normal citizens. Those are the side characters that are important to the arc.
Basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
he means the same thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
like they fill the same role in my mind. That when they're not the Straw Hats or the main villains.
Got it. Okay. Well, anyway, we got our main fights coming up, and we got also a good revelation as the crew is all reunited, excluding Nami, and
Because she's being forced into a marriage.
She's unconscious right now.
and excluding Brooke because he's going off to fight Ryuma.
Oh yes.
But as they all meet back up, we get a quick revelation of like, oh yeah, no, he said he's actually the reason he's got to get his shadow back is so that he can finally return to his friend by the name of
Laboon!
How'd you like that reveal?
The whale!
Yeah, that Binks Brew was the ship crew that supposedly abandoned Laboon.
The
The Rum Bar Pirates.
The Rum Bar Pirates, yeah.
How'd you like that? But how'd you like that?
I absolutely love this expansion on such a side character that you
Something you'd never think is important.
would never have thought would be as important as it is.
I got something crazy to
One Piece is
mention.
full of that, by the way.
4 kids. Something crazy I get to mention.
What's for kids?
So back with the 4 kids dub,
What's for
apparently
kids?
they skipped Laboon.
They did.
Which means what would have happened if they got to Brook?
They would have just they would have been like, we met when we first got
Because they stopped just before Skypiea.
They
They got far apparently.
They probably would have been like, we met this whale when we were
You're
going
having
into,
trouble.
Yeah, like we just met this whale that just
Doesn't
so
matter
happened,
to the plot.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But like
They thought
if-
it was filler.
if it wasn't there, it would be a harder time to like explain that. That would be interesting.
Weird, right?
That was actually stumping me for a second.
Yeah. But it's so weird, right? There's a bunch of stuff with this with One Piece that I always find interesting. We mentioned Gecko Moria. So here's where I get to mention something kind of cool. Because as he's talking about Oars, like having broken out, and Oars is doing his thing, and it's like, eventually he'll come into line.
He'll warm up to me eventually.
And, like, eventually it does happen, obviously.
Yeah.
Has to. But the interesting thing is, when he's walking off, he goes, and with this power, I could get back, basically, everything that was taken from me.
I can get back everything that was taken from me.
By Kaido. Which, obviously, later on down the line,
to Legends Arceus?
obviously, later on down the line, we know who that is. Kaido is one of the 4 Emperors of the Sea.
From Fortnite?
Including Whitebeard and Shanks. Which means he's comparable to those two.
Wait, who's the 4th? Is it a spoiler for me to know the 4th?
I mean, I could say the name, and you wouldn't have any context. Big Mom.
Oh, okay. She is the 4th, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's basically just, it's 4 giant people in all fairness.
4 very
but
powerful people.
But Shanks isn't that big. Have you seen his...
No,
Well,
that's
he used
actually
to
a
be
joke.
big, but he had his arm lopped off.
That actually is a joke, by the way, of the fact that you've got these 4 giants of people as 3 of or like these 3 giants basically.
Yeah,
for the 4 warlords,
and
then Shanks.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder how strong Shanks is.
how that happens.
And how strong he is, yeah.
Well, you saw part of how strong he is when he had his Haki blasting off as he was walking onto Whitebeard's ship.
He's flashing
Bro,
everybody
just
left
pronounce it
and
like
right.
hockey, man. Come on. Hockey.
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 How do
Guys,
you say it?
I love
Hockey.
playing the
Hockey.
hockey.
Well, his Haki was blasting off. And
Blasting off again, I see.
Remember, he knocked out a bunch of the people on their ship,
Yeah.
excluding some of the top brass.
I'm wondering when I finally understand what hockey is, if they go back to that scene and show it different.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
That would be something I would be interested in. But yeah, like
Oh yeah, something that you might find kind of interesting is
What?
what? There is a little note that is specified that apparently hockey, only people who are able to use hockey can see it.
can see it. Yeah,
It's
that's
like
why I wanted
stands or the
It's
force.
like stands, yeah.
like stands. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Imagine
Force?
real quick. Real quick. Imagine that, by the way, for JoJo. if like early season of JoJo you see some people fighting and you don't know what's going on.
They're just standing there and then one of them just dies.
Or like you just see damage being done to them, but like very brutally, and you have no idea what's happening. Like this guy's hurting other people without the knowledge. And then next season you learn about stands.
I do want a version of JoJo of at least part
with
3,
no stands.
With no stands at all. You don't see the stands at all.
Someone has to make an edit of that.
I love it.
I want that so badly that they're just like, If
I had an infinite amount of money, I would have that happen.
Would you get paid for that? Yeah.
make Mr. Beast do it.
And then also take out the time skips with the world.
Yeah.
So it's just
And Star Platinum.
Yeah, it's just cuts. And somebody's definitely made an edit of that. When they took out the time skips.
They did. And there's also another one where they took out the inner dialogue between it was the fights between Dio and Joro without their inner monologues.
Oh, so it's much faster.
It's just them fighting.
Yeah.
And jumping all over the place.
That's funny.
So going
For the
back
love
to
of God, drop the meat.
So following through, what happens is they divide and conquer. They have all their separate fights, which includes a fight between Usopp and Perona.
Oh yeah. Perona. I like her too. Like she's the upper half of.
She's simple. Yeah, she was nice.
And well, in that she felt like she was trying really hard to be a threat, but everybody was just like, nah.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent. But Perona, the fight with Perona and Usopp was really fun.
Because he's the only one that can counter her. Because
naturally negative!
When her ghosts pass through him, they have no effect because he's naturally negative.
And they foreshadow it when, before the fight, he's already on his knees going, we're fucked. And they're all like, what's his problem?
And then everybody gets hit by the ghosts.
And then we've got the joke with that moment of Perona just, don't give up!
Yeah. We all start cheering for him. You can do it! Life has purpose!
Yeah. It sounds like something you'd write, Jinzu. Don't give up on life! I wasn't planning anything! I'm just saying I'm negative.
I'm giving up on your life, bitch!
There's no way for it to continue. What?
Yeah, no, it's a very, very nice fight of, like, it's just him having to strategize because he's not stronger than her.
Yeah.
Like, ability-wise, and so it's him running around, avoiding getting killed by her personal guard, but also knocking out every other guard with salt. He eventually takes out that guard with the salt, and then he runs off to capture her, and she's moved out of her body and scaring the hell out of him.
Astral projection, yeah. She's one of those types.
And he goes, got it. So you're not in your real body right now. Maybe that conveniently placed room has you.
Yeah, I wonder if that
says that, and that's the funniest thing.
I wonder if this room with a lock on it will be exactly what I'm looking for.
And he just shoots it, blows it open. There she is.
Just passed out.
And he runs up and he plays a full mind game of Special Star launches. She's in her body again, and she's covered in cockroaches.
Yep.
She's freaking out.
That ended up being fake cockroaches.
And she just goes, "You've underestimated my power," as he pulls out his, what was it, like 100 million pound hammer?
It was a 10-ton.
10-ton hammer.
He pulls out a 10-ton hammer, and it hits her with it.
And, yeah, he hits her.
And then it deflates.
No, it pops, and she just has a heart attack, essentially, of just,
thinking that she's dead. Yeah.
And then he deflates the handle of the hammer.
Later on.
I like how he's becoming more and more like his lies that he's created. They're more refined now. They're getting more and more refined.
He learned the technique of war, where the threat of your options is more powerful than the execution of them.
Oh, you know what? I will personally apologize for the fact that I missed one joke. It's one of my favorites, but when it came to before that fight, it was because of the fact that the team was separated, and it was Frankie. I think it was Frankie, Sanji, and Usopp, I believe, and so they were heading over to Perona. And the reason why is because when they fell, because oars had broken the bridge,
they broke the bridge.
That we had the greatest joke ever of Frankie goes, don't worry guys, I got it.
Oh, Fortnite.
And then he just builds the bridge and he goes, I know it's not much, but here you guys go.
You made it too nice!
This bridge is immaculate! And then he says, I've been known to build a bridge or two. And then Duke and I just look at each other and we go, so he's got one more.
I wouldn't be a shipwright if I didn't know how to build a bridge or two. He's got one left in him.
He's got one last bridge in him.
Imagine like that happens of like he builds one more bridge and then later on down the line, we need another bridge, Frankie.
I can't.
I said I can do one or two.
We lucked out on the two.
We lucked out. I rolled high.
I want to just quickly go into the Brooke getting his shadow back.
Yeah, that fight.
That fight was so
because I think it was Brooke,
Zoro,
Zoro, and Frankie.
Was it Frankie?
I think Frankie and Zoro met back up there, and so they were hanging at the time.
Yes.
That, like they were doing that.
Yes.
Because Frankie's just like, dude, I'm here for the ride. Built my dream ship. I'm here.
Because they talk a little bit, and I do like the interactions between Frankie and the crew, because he's supposed to be like the dad insert. So it's interesting to see how each one of the crew reacts to a father figure sort of person. And Zoro, of course, being like the oldest sibling, has like the best relationship.
Yeah, they can both just chill out, have a beer or cola or two.
Cola. Always cola.
Oh,
always cola.
The voice actor of Frankie, apparently there was a whole thing where he was at a party and he was drinking a beer and a kid ran up and went, "You're not drinking cola!" and got all sad. And so now, as a rule, whenever children are around, he only drinks cola.
He only drinks the cola, yeah.
How bitchin' is that?
That's the kind of thing that, like...
And that is the Japanese voice actor, by the way.
It's a good man.
That's always a thing that, like, if I was a voice actor for something, and my character had a specific quirk that, if children watched it, would associate me
You'd
with
always
it,
be doing it.
that I would be doing it, yeah.
I think it's similar with, there was others.
Like Jim Carrey and the Grinch doing the face.
Oh, man, I love it.
Oh, the rivalry between Sanji and Zoro. Apparently, the Japanese voice actors like to play that they fully hate each other. And like Zoro, no. The funniest part is the fact that Sanji's the one that's full in on the joke, while Zoro's not.
Zoro's actually annoyed half the time.
No, as in he's like, "Oh, why do you hate me so much?" Moss head. He's like, "I don't actually have green hair in real life. You know that, right?"
and then there's Dio's voice actor, who's just going around as Dio in Japan, terrorizing people,
ordering food.
What a good man.
What as Dio would.
I love that Takeyasu Kohito or
goodbye,
Takehito Koyasu just loves Dio. And Daisuke Ono, the voice actor for Jotaro, also absolutely loves Jotaro. He has like his room is like...
Didn't he do like a cosplay thing where he dressed up as it and he shaved his head so that the hair would do the Jotaro?
That wasn't him. That was the live action actor.
That was the live action? Okay.
No, but Daisuke Ono has like... His room is filled with Jotaro Kujo figurines or some shit. I forgot what it was, but yeah.
So two things. One, I love the video of Dio, like his voice actor walking by, of like strawberry and like orders, and then he's like, and then as he's walking by, goodbye Jotaro. He just walks away. But Oda, I was gonna say, because like Oda's got some apparently very cool looking house.
Yeah. They
recently had a tour of his house. And one of the things...
This wasn't allowed!
He bought a life-size Bruce Lee statue.
Let's go.
Amazing!
He's got a full-size Bruce Lee in his house.
Let me guess, there's a character that I haven't met yet that is a Bruce Lee insert.
Sanji, got it.
Oh, Sanji. Okay.
In all fairness, I'd imagine Sanji would be the closest one.
I think of the main crew, yeah. But there could be someone else that...
Yeah. But, anyway.
There has to be more than one Bruce Lee reference.
Yeah, the big fight that we get is... We've got, first off, Ryuma starts fighting Brooke. Brooke loses.
And
he gets scarred. He gets to fight certain other swordsmen.
Also known as Zoro. And their back and forth was so good to watch. And he actually, like, one of Zoro's swords break. Which one was it again?
The one that he got as a special, like, sword from that swordsmith.
Not the cursed one?
Not the cursed one. It was the other one that he said, I spent my entire life making this one. Oh! It is the best one that I could have possibly made.
His best quality one. That sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one breaks, and they like go in for one big final attack.
Wait, no, that didn't break then. No, it broke all the way back in Water 7, back when there was the Rusty dude. There was the guy who had the Rust ability.
Oh, then he got another one.
His name was Shobu or something. Or
yeah. But basically, his devil fruit power was that he could rust stuff.
Yeah.
And the entire thing that he did was he destroyed one of his swords.
Yeah, he destroyed that sword, the best one, and then the replacement one he got from that.
Well, no, not the best one. Luckily, there's the cursed one, which, as long as he can control it, he's safe.
Yeah.
And then there was the one he had from his master.
Yeah.
The white one.
Yeah.
Always will have.
Yeah, you always got that. Yeah.
Can you imagine at some point them destroying that sword? Jesus Christ.
That would be a terrible marketing decision. Especially since Jinzu would then have to not have that sword anymore.
Yeah. You have to get rid of your sword now. No more swords for you.
Oh, if my sword rusted away from rust?
No, we're saying what if like the main white sword was destroyed?
That you can't.
You're not allowed to keep it anymore. You gotta bury it.
I'd be pissed.
You gotta bury it in the sand
and
now.
so would Zoro.
Yeah, he definitely would.
Oh, that'd be a snap moment. But yeah, we get that whole moment, and it is the coolest fight.
Yeah, their big attack at the end that they're both just so respectful to each other with their strength.
Fucking cool is that?
A more one
like something that you know about in the way off distance. Like you've heard the fact that Wano is apparently one of the greatest seasons ever animated,
and it's Japanese themed and
Japanese themed, all that, and we get a mention of it now.
Yeah,
700 episodes away.
700 episodes away. I am 700 episodes away now.
Sorry, 600
instead of 1,000.
Actually, it's like closer to 600.
I will kill you
because you're at 383.
I'll still kill you.
Anyway. But, no.
Moving on.
Another thing, I forgot to mention this, but there was a whole thing that they showed off. These special zombies, like the zombie generals.
Yeah, the generals.
There's only one I want to mention. Because apparently some of them are kind of important.
Yeah.
But one of them I thought was interesting. And it was Captain John.
Yeah, he kind of, like, he gets a shout out and, like, a moment to talk for some reason, even though he doesn't really fight.
Two reasons. One, that is the guy that Buggy's going for the treasure of.
Oh, yeah.
That was the big deal
Captain
of, like...
the great Captain John's treasure.
Yeah. Here's the other thing. There's a theory about it. You saw the way his face was, like, with the crooked nose and the curved chin. Yeah, look up good old Captain John. I'll give you a second. So anyway.
Second's over.
Would you like a second? So anyway. Just being an asshole.
Just being yourself, Duke. Just being yourself.
Yeah. But look at his face.
These jackass.
Look at his face. The way it looks.
Look at the facial structure.
And the bullet holes.
Now look up Dr. Kureha.
No fucking way.
Live. You know, yeah, there she is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at her.
Oh, she gets up, dude.
She actually wears a shirt at one point that just says 100.
Well, it's her birthday shirt.
But look at that comparison.
A very interesting one.
And Oda isn't one to do things accidentally.
Yeah, no, it's a similar thing with, like, people get so pissed whenever the statement is made, hey, what if Brook was related to Aokiji? And people get so pissed of like, oh, that's stupid, just because the characters look alike, and it's like, it's Oda!
It's Oda.
That's his entire thing!
No other character looks alike.
Yeah. When it's just two.
Unless it's Nami!
Unless it's a female character, then it's the same face, same titties, different hair.
Which makes Kureha special!
The fact that she's not a part of that, like, group of...
She got the body, she ain't got the face.
Or the titties.
You sure?
I'm pretty sure. Ah, never mind. There's young Kureha.
wait.
That's the fan art, I think.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that that's official.
But, no.
She got the 4chan logo on her shirt.
Oh, but anyway, no, that's the thing. When people saw Brook and Aokiji, like, especially when Brook's alive, when they saw the look of him, the big old afro and, specific features of his face, people pointed out, he looks a lot like Aokiji.
Yep.
The Admiral.
It would be interesting if they were like...
Jinzu?
What?
If they were like second
Aokiji
cousins.
and Brook.
Yeah, I know. They could be related.
What do you think of that idea?
With the afros and the loops.
Yeah.
It's like that they're second cousins or something like that.
Actually, one idea is a very close familial connection of, like, either father-grandfather.
Honestly, I just answered my question.
I'd imagine it'd be grandfather because of the timeline.
Yeah, 90 years.
He died 50 years ago,
But he started sailing.
Probably, I don't know when he started sailing, but in all fairness, when was it? He was 41 at the time, or something like that. He was like 40 at the time.
Yeah.
And so it more than likely would have been like 20 years prior. He could have met a woman.
And he's also a musician, a suave musician,
which means
gentleman.
He might be the grandfather of Aokiji. How crazy would that be?
If it would be that close, then yeah. But if not, then I would say second cousin.
Related in some manner, essentially.
Yeah.
No, it's a similar thing of like they always do this. Hey, look at this guy and how we have no idea what island he's from. Wonder if that'll be important later on down the line.
So anyway, back to the end of the fight with Zoro and Shadow.
Zoro has a really cool finishing move and burns him alive.
And the dude, he throws the sword to Zoro, and the way that Zoro catches it without looking at it, that was cool.
Little kids.
Are you looking at you guys looking at spoilers?
That's a comparison of them as little kids.
Yeah.
Look at them.
Yeah.
But burns him, and he says, "Okay, fine, take my sword.
You've earned it."
And he's like, "I will honor this black blade."
But I won't say we fought. Our fight didn't happen, but thanks.
Let me look up the name of that sword, by the way.
Shusui.
Okay, Shusui. But man, it's so... This season's fucking good with these moments.
Yeah.
And then we get the fight with Chopper and Dr. Hogback, where he just beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, Chopper is just able to... Because...
He almost lands the fuck... Like, so Robin boosts Chopper up with a bunch of feet, and then Chopper was about to do a huge German suplex to him.
Yeah.
It would have been awesome, but he didn't do it.
But it just failed, and it was like, oh.
He didn't do it, and he's like, oh, I could die if I continue this. Let me boost away from him, and then let him get stomped on.
Yeah.
But he ended up living, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, deserved.
And Chopper's reasoning for fighting Hogback was a really good character moment for me. Yeah. That he idolized Hogback when he first met him, and because he heard about him and all that kind of stuff, and that was great. But then he learns that he wasn't reanimating the people, the dead. He was just getting people and using their dead bodies.
And also, his idea of a doctor is much more selfish and...
What should be just about getting money!
And more self-serving than what Chopper's idea of a doctor is, which is a much more... what's the word?
Righteous.
Righteous?
Righteous, dude!
Righteous and... loving?
Caring.
Caring, yeah.
Being somebody that actively will help anybody who asks for it.
Or who needs it.
And needs it. Yeah, but the Hogback was just like, but how else will you get rich off of it?
I'm a genius, so I should get rich.
I should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
And money.
And money.
And money.
The Nobel Peace Prize.
Money. 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 But, you just look at it, how big the...
An hour and 10 minutes.
Oh yeah,
we're a bit into this.
Basically, one of the final fights is the entire crew versus Oars.
Yes,
but
everybody except for Luffy.
Yeah, everyone excluding Luffy is having an insane time just
fighting
going
Luffy.
Around trying to fight messing Luffy with him. They're trying to figure out ways to mess him up, and it includes stuff like Frankie going Fortnite mode.
That is Fortnite mode, and then also them.
Hey, reminder: this came out before Fortnite, so Frankie made Fortnite.
Frankie made
Formation 15.
Yeah, they do Formation 15,
where they turn into a big old.
Where they do a Power Ranger Voltron reference, where Frankie the body, Chopper the head, Zoro and Sanji the feet, and Usopp the hand.
And Robin as also supposed to be a hand.
As supposed to be the hand, but she says no.
Robin, why aren't you coming to do this? Because it would hurt my human pride. Her human pride? It would hurt my human pride. She said it again!
And then even Oars is just like, no!
Why aren't you doing it?
Oars is like, what the f***? Because he's Luffy.
Why aren't you doing it? That seemed cool.
And then they do it again, but then it's just Usopp and Chopper because Sanji and Zoro got embarrassed.
Yeah, because Robin said no.
So what ends up happening?
I'm glad Luffy didn't join. That would be perfect. He would be a perfect.
If he was there, he definitely would have been. Yeah.
Just constant messing with him, and the only thing that can save the day at that point is Luffy ends up getting shadows from this group of pirates that had their shadows taken, including a woman by the name of Lola, much like this pig that we met earlier. That became friends with,
who wanted to marry the invisible guy, but got jealous of Nami because he's attracted to Nami. And what does Nami do to get her to stop trying to kill her? I'm a guy. Nami says that she's a guy, and Chopper fully believes her.
Chopper just kind of looks and he's like, Nami's a guy?
Oh! He goes, it makes sense.
And then Usopp goes, nope!
Nope. And Lola even mentioned later on of like, no, I kind of figured that you weren't. It's fine.
My friendo.
My friendo.
But,
yeah, in the dub, Nami, kind of does, kind of makes her voice, as deep as she can, but also sounding like Nami. So
prior to Oars, I forgot about one fight. Prior to Oars,
in the Japanese, she only what she does is instead of changing the pitch of her voice, she
uses different pronouns.
She uses different pronouns and she changes her
stance. Doesn't she pronounce her words in a similar tone to somebody else?
No, she just says.
I swear it was like Usopp or something.
She uses more masculine terms basically, and she carries herself in a more masculine way, and she kind of I'm actually a man. But she never changes the pitch of her voice.
One of the fights that we forgot about was actually with Absalom, actually.
With Absalom.
Because he goes off to marry Nami, and then Sanji comes in going, okay, I'm about to kick your ass for multiple reasons.
I'm going to pull out some receipts for why I need to kick your ass.
Okay, number 1, you ugly. Number 2, you tried to marry Nami. Not cool. And number 3, you took my fruit!
You took my devil fruit!
He specifically says, I wanted that devil fruit. I saw a glossary of devil fruits, and that was the fruit I wanted.
The invisible,
brings in
clear
so
fruit.
many questions. Sanji brings up so many questions in general. I actually grew up in the North Blue, he says. I had a glossary of devil fruits.
Yep.
His wanted poster says wanted alive, not dead or alive.
I think it's to make sure that it's actually...
Well, mind you, still, it's unlike any other. There's
so
later. Many things with Sanji where it's unique of no one else has this. Isn't it weird?
Because he's the only one that isn't from either the East Blue or the Grand Line.
So, I'm actually curious. Do you have these same kind of questions about Sanji of the way he says so I'm from the North Blue. It's I remember actually you said the exact line. Wait, how the hell did Sanji get here then?
Yeah, how do you go from... Because, people always say that, I'm from this sea, and, these places...
there was apparently a line we also missed, because it was partially into a filler episode.
Yeah.
And so we missed it, where it was when they went up the mountain to, go, when they went to meet Laboon,
yeah.
Honestly. There was a moment where, everybody is going, man, I've never seen a ship go up, and he goes, yeah, I have. He just randomly says, I've seen ships go up mountains.
Yeah.
And, once again, it's another moment of, what is your life? Because we saw when he was a kid, young when he was a kid, taken in by, Zareth, right?
Or whatever his name is, yeah.
Red something, Zareth, or something like that. But other than that, we don't have many clues about his backstory. Or ideas of what his backstory is.
Yeah, he's the one that's been the most ambiguous so far.
Yeah.
That we don't have his major things. We just have we don't have everything. We just have the major.
He beats the shit out of Absalom, and then he leaves, and Nami ends up getting the finishing blow on him.
Yeah,
by electrocuting him.
Yeah,
and goes, Lola, you can take him.
He's yours now.
And as Nami's running away, at the same time that the whole thing with Oars is going on. Nami ends up going to the ship, seeing the fact that Perona, she woke up and is putting all the treasure onto the ship, getting ready to steal the ship.
Yeah, she's stocking up the ship to take the Sunny to leave.
As a few zombies are walking around, putting some stuff away, and then notice somebody looming over them.
All of a sudden, and
it's Bartholomew Kuma.
Kuma
walks up, and Perona sees him, and immediately is terrified. As she goes, that's not just anybody. That's one of the 7 warlords of the sea.
Yep.
The tyrant Kuma. And she basically tries to fight him, and he goes, what is your... if you had to go on a vacation, where would you go? And she goes, oh, I guess somewhere spooky, like a abandoned castle or something like that. I mean, wait, why am I answering this question? Gone.
And she's gone. Yep.
Like a pop. With a quick pop. Gone.
And he goes off to meet Gecko Moria. Right before that, though, he stops by Nami, goes, your captain is Straw Hat Luffy, correct? Brother to Ace? And she goes, yeah. Why are you specifying why are you specifying his brother? No reason. Anyway,
no reason.
Goodbye. And goes off to Gecko Moria to say, hey, don't get your ass kicked. And he's like, you want to step to me? Want to step to me, bitch?
What, you think you're better than me, huh? And when the shot with them standing next to each other.
Here we go. This is what I was talking about, by the way. The way that Kuma's shaped and the way
top heavy.
The way that Gecko Moria is shaped.
Yeah.
The two drumsticks.
One inverted.
You see it?
And Kuma has the fried chicken hair too.
Kuma top heavy. While Moria bottom heavy.
Double thick.
So now that we get back to Moria, I can go ahead and mention the thing that I wanted to mention earlier.
Yeah. Hey, let's skip over it.
So the reason why Moria is so interesting as a character, in all honesty, he's meant to be the dark reflection of Luffy. He's a subtle one, though. Basically, what happened is he did have hopes of going to the Grand Line and being the Pirate King, as you can see.
Yeah.
His crew was wiped out by Kaido.
Oh, he lost everything to Kaido.
Lost everything. And that lost his motivation. And so now he does this, where he uses people instead of working with them.
Interesting.
He's meant to be the dark reflection of what would have happened if Luffy lost hope.
Because why have crewmates who can die when you can have zombies who are already dead?
Zombies who don't die.
But how do you like that? How do you like that touch? And yes, he is meant to be pathetic because, in all fairness, a Luffy that lost all hope would be very pathetic.
Would be pathetic, yeah. But he gets invigorated by Kuma's words in that he's just like, bitch!
So he goes to pilot his mech, a.k.a. Oars.
And then Oars, all of a sudden, his stomach curtain opens, and
what
there
are you doing in there?
His stomach opens and is revealed to be a curtain.
When you find out your belly button has something living, what are you doing in there?
Hello, creature! I've discovered new species. So they fight, and it's very...
How it feels when you haven't bathed them for a day. What are you doing in there?
It's ancient civilization. But they fight. They try and do everything they can to defeat Gecko Moria and Oars at the Gecko Oars. Geckors. And there's
no, wasn't it Moors?
Moors, yeah, it's Moors. That's what
Moors. They called Gecko Moria Oars Moors, something like that.
It sounds like a cereal.
Yeah.
Eat Moors.
But they end up fighting, and the only thing that can save the day is two things. We got Luffy going Shadow Luffy.
Yeah,
Monster Luffy.
Consuming how many shadows again?
100.
100 shadows.
100 shadows. And when you're living, you can only have them for about 10 minutes at a time. But you still get the strength of everybody. Yep. And also, the first one that he does as a test, he gets a sword. So we see what Luffy's like with the sword. Like,
yeah.
What
it was so funny. Hey, can he use a sword? No, I don't think so. Well, here.
somebody tried having a comparison of like, man, this is why before the time skip, it's way better. And it was a whole sword scene of Luffy with a sword. But that's not him with a shadow of a swordsman. That's just like him holding a sword. Because in the future, there's a scene where he's holding a sword from somebody. And what he does is he punches with the sword.
Yeah, he just has.
And it's like, you gave me a reason to watch time skip.
That's hilarious.
But other than that, he gets 100 shadows, grows huge.
He looks literally like Donkey Kong. Literally.
Yeah, no, every time he popped up, I went doo 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 doo. But he ends up fighting
Donkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Donk. But
no Donk Luffy.
Oh, that's what his child would be. Monkey D. Donkey.
Monkey D. Donkey.
Yeah.
Donkey D. Luffy.
But
Nature just said that.
Yeah,
I know. I'm reiterating. That wasn't like a revelation saying it. That was me just going for it.
Good deal.
Well, that's his movie red outfit.
That's what Brooke looks like in the movie.
Every movie they have a different outfit.
Wow.
He looks so cool.
Wow.
You ought to look up the others, their red outfits.
Wow.
Look up the Straw Hat red outfits.
But the other thing with fighting Moors
is Well, actually, wasn't it they basically end up winning through oh god, what was it? They ended up beating the shit out of them. All the Straw Hats teamed together, beat the shit out of them, and Gecko Moria decides, okay, screw you guys. I'm gonna grow huge.
Yeah, he consumes all of the shadows. Yeah, they just make his laugh really loud and slower.
Yeah.
Which does not make it easier.
So they beat the shit out of him. We got Big Gecko Moria.
I was expecting him to say, "Get up! Get up!"
But
with how much he looked like a frog.
With his froggy looking ass.
They end up beating the shit out of him by they beat the shit out of him, and all the other people go like, Shadow, come to me. And he goes, spits them all out.
Spitting out the shadows.
And then they just beat the shit out of him.
And they drop part of the building on him.
And it's like, yeah, we did it. We're all safe. And it's all this nice, calm moment. That's Kuma.
What is he doing here?
Oh, my orders are to annihilate the Straw Hats. Okay. Shit, say no more.
All right.
That's it. I'm jerking off.
That's it. I'm annihilating the crew.
And Kuma shows why he's a warlord.
He destroys them.
He blows them the fuck up.
Yeah. He blows up the entire island, essentially.
And Robin has a really funny, cute moment where in her imagination, when Kuma explains his devil fruit, she kind of zones out and thinks about cats with their paws.
He's got toe beans.
Yeah, he literally has toe beans.
Yeah, he ate the paw fruit.
He ate the toe bean fruit.
Once again, a PG power displayed perfectly.
Yeah.
Of not too PG-13, but still really good.
And the only person that really is able to get up is Zoro.
Zoro and Sanji.
But Sanji gets screwed over.
Sanji's like, come on, take me instead. I'll let you kill me. You have no idea how much I'll be worth in the future. And Zoro just goes, you bastard.
You have no idea how much I'll be worth in the future. So kill me instead.
And he goes,
and Kuma just kind of stares at them and it's like,
interesting.
You know what?
It would be dishonorable not to.
Yo, based?
Based?
Yo, based loyal crew members. So he gets Luffy and he uses his fruit to extract the pain out of Luffy.
And how it's a giant thing.
Yep. And he goes, this is all the pain that your captain has accrued.
Here, have a taste.
Have a taste.
That's the loudest you've been in the recording.
But that happens, and he goes, fine, just let me go somewhere where they won't find my body.
Yeah, just let me do this somewhere else.
And Kuma leaves.
And he goes off, and we get just this moment of the music swelling and getting all excited.
Wait, hold on. Kuma leaves, and he's just like, that guy was cool.
And Zoro, he's standing right in front of the bubble, music swelling, and right at his peak, throws his arms in.
Yeah, he just goes all in.
He throws his arms in.
And Sanji wakes up sooner than anybody else.
Everybody wakes up together. Sanji wakes up. And he goes, where's Moss Head? And he starts running. Brook watches as he understands as well that some crazy shit just happened. And Sanji rolls up on him, seeing him just standing there looking cool.
Bleeding out.
And
he
goes like,
terrible.
oh man, you gotta join up with the crew, like a whole bunch of crazy shit happened. Hey, do you know what happened afterwards? Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Where did this blood come from? What happened? What happened?
You want to know what happened?
Nothing happened.
You want to know what happened? Nothing happened. In the ultimate display of loyalty, nothing happened.
You know when Cooler kicked Vegeta in the dick 1,000 times? And he's just then like...
that's what the embraced version would do. Just what happened?
But yeah, no, and also the blood covering the entire area.
Yeah.
There's actually a joke that somebody made. So Zoro did die there, by the way.
That he died.
His soul got lost though, so it came back. It saw the light and then went backwards and went right back into his body.
So yeah.
So technically Zoro is immortal.
And then everybody has a feast and everybody's all chill and having a good time. And Brook gives even more backstory on his journey and how his captain died and he took over, and
this was after they promised Laboon they would come back.
Yeah, they would come back,
leaving him with the doctor.
and they go into the Grand Line, and they get attacked, and everybody starts dying of the poison from these arrows that they got shot with. And as a final, like, thing that they do, final send-off before they all die, is that the entire crew sets up and performs Binks's Brew.
You mean the Rumbar Pirates?
The Rumbar Pirates.
Gather up all of the crew. Time to ship with Binks's Brew.
We're not trying to get DMCA'd. So we'll say that.
We'll sing this song instead.
well,
this is copyright.
This is copyright. 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 This is copyright. This is copyright. 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 Disney executives in the far off
he
bush.
Gets welcomed right into the crew. It's so good. And as a final goodbye, 2 days later, they get ready to sail off, and Lola goes up to Nami and says...
But now it's the real Lola instead of the Shadow. It's the real Lola.
Real nice. First person that Nami is so nice to that she gives treasure to, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Nami gives her some treasure. It's not the real Nami! She's not real!
But, she goes...
Imposter!
She goes up to Lola, says her goodbyes, and she says, oh, here, real quick, as you're going to the New World, first off, she says, we actually came from the New World. We're a pirate crew from there.
Yeah.
So that shows their strength.
Oh, yeah.
She goes, here, let me give you something, and rips a card, rips a piece of paper, hands it to her, and Nami's like, what the hell is this? And she goes, oh, that's my Vivre card. It comes from the New World. Basically, the way it works is that it floats over to the original piece, so you can always know where the other person is.
Yeah. And it
also
reflects the life force of the person.
Also reflects the life force of the person. And Luffy goes, I think I got one of those. Pulls off his hat, pulls out his Vivre card, and goes, yeah, this is the one I got from my brother Ace. And it's burning!
And it's on fire! Why is it on fire?
And they're like, oh god. The other note we gotta give you is, when a person's life force is in danger, it can start shrinking. And they go,
we should probably save...
We should go.
We should probably save him.
And so the last bit is them sailing off, going off to the final island of this part of the world.
The Fishman Island.
Yep. They're heading off. Well, before they get there, we have the halfway point.
What?
We have the halfway point. That is what it is, of basically where everything gathers together, and it's like, well, basically, you guys ready to enter into the next part? Let's go, kind of area.
Oh.
So we have Sabari Park.
Sabari Park, okay.
Somebody, can anybody find me? Somebody to love! But yeah, so, final thoughts on this arc.
I say, like, even though I had some stipulations with it, I enjoyed it.
How would you rate it?
I would give it a
school grades.
I would give it a A minus.
A minus.
A minus or B plus.
That's funny. That's higher than I was gonna. I was gonna give it a B plus because I liked it.
B plus.
I was gonna give it like an 8 out of 10 or something.
B plus, same.
I was gonna say like a 7 out of 10.
So yeah, I agree. B plus average. No, it's once again, it's a funny thing of somebody said that the funny thing about One Piece is the way that this show, its D tier arcs are still A tier in most anime.
In most animes, yes.
Because
it's not variations.
Because the motherfucker who wrote it actually planned it out.
Yeah, that every little thing that he sprinkled in was entirely necessary for the rest of it.
It's like that joke, the weakest pick a show fan.
Oh yeah.
No, the weakest
the weakest One Piece enjoyer versus the
strongest Naruto enjoyer.
Yeah, weakest Naruto One Piece enjoyer crushing the throat of him.
just killing him.
Just killing him. Normal
strongest
killing
Naruto.
him. Killing the strongest Naruto viewer. But so this is my really good season. Characters, by the way.
Brooke.
Any characters that you really want to mention as, like, a real good highlight.
I love Brooke.
One character each.
I love Brooke.
I like Zoro.
More relevant to the arc instead of a character that's been long-standing.
Brooke.
I don't like Gecko Moria.
I like...
But I respect him.
I like Zoro.
Everybody likes Zoro.
Yes.
This is his arc where he got to show his greatest bit of loyalty.
He got a new sword.
Ah!
Sorry. He got a new sword. He did some badass shit. His zombie was really funny.
And then, most importantly, nothing happened.
I already said
nothing happened. You spoke of it.
And then I like Chopper's moment here too. He gets to reinforce. I also like that we got to see more Robin after his lobby.
Yeah. She's just chilling.
She's
now.
calling everybody by their names now. She's not giving them.
Just chilling.
No one has titles anymore. She doesn't call Nami Navigator. She doesn't call Usopp Longnose. She doesn't call Luffy.
There apparently is a funny thing that Robin later on she starts using any nickname that Luffy gives to other people.
Yeah.
Like what was it? There was one that I remember hearing. I think it was like Trigun, something like that.
Trafalgar Law got something hat, Tra hat or something.
Tray hat, yeah.
Yeah. So Robin started calling him that too.
Yeah.
But that's spoilers because we don't know who Trafalgar is.
We don't know who that guy is, but luckily names don't matter. Anyway.
Or what his middle name is.
Thoughts with Mayhem.
My thought is, if all of the Straw Hats' shadows were put into a regular person zombie, which one of the Straw Hat shadows would win?
All of them? Which one would be the top personality?
Which one?
Luffy.
I think Sanji or Zoro would win.
Sanji or Zoro's. Yeah, because Luffy is strong.
The thing is, Luffy's a powerhouse.
Luffy's tenacious, but
his shadow being an Oar's match. So what if Luffy's shadow being in a regular person? Would that be enough against Sanji or Zoro's?
I still feel strongly about Luffy because of the fact that the difference between Luffy and Zoro, I'm comparing the two strongest. Because in all fairness, Zoro is stronger than Sanji.
Yeah.
Comparing those two, Luffy would be on top because of the fact that his tenacity puts him on top.
But they're all tenacious though. I feel like that's not a trait you can single out when comparing all of them because they're all incredibly tenacious.
No, I know. But
I think what nerfs Luffy's zombie is the fact that he can't use the gum fruit.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any access to fruit. He just has Luffy's personality and tenacity.
The fight I use as an example is Rob Lucci. He clocked out 3 times. And through sheer tenacity woke up.
That's true, but also Zoro taking all of his pain and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Zoro still was able to take his pain and was just stood there.
Yeah.
And took it.
But I agree there.
Sanji's techniques, he's more hand to hand.
I believe.
So that's why I would give his foot to foot. Yeah, foot to hand.
I believe that Luffy is stronger, but not a lot.
Okay.
That is my personal opinion. I think he is the top.
No, I think like at least 70% of his power comes from the fruit. 70%.
About, yeah. I would say like a devil fruit automatically brings you up in power.
Especially if you know how to use it.
Well, that's not to go against him though.
Yeah.
Like that's still his strength.
No, he learned how to use it, but the fruit is also what makes him like a fucking monster.
He's had it so long that it is a part of him.
And also the fruit kind of helps him negate physical damage, whereas the zombie wouldn't have that. The defensive capabilities of the fruit don't apply to the zombie.
Yeah.
So the tenacity wouldn't matter. So it could be tenacious, but it wouldn't have the body to match the tenacity.
But we all know what would happen. What? That Usopp's zombie
would luck out on top.
Would hide.
Yeah.
And Choppers would be
helping
watching the fight.
Yeah.
And Chopper would be the medic.
Is that little GIF I've shown you before?
Just yeah. Yeah, that's what it would be. Yes. All right. What's next, Duke?
I was going to say I have a question of my own because I want to give this question every time we have. Yes, I have a Dukem. I have this question because I want to ask this question whenever we finish a One Piece arc.
Yes.
Of the devil fruits shown off in this arc,
yes,
which one would you want the most? Because we got the shadow, we got that ghost fruit, we got the invisible fruit, and we got the pawpaw fruit, and the revive fruit.
It's between the invisible fruit and the revive fruit.
For me, it's between the shadow fruit and the pawpaw fruit.
I actually agree with that.
Because being able to shoot compressed air at the speed of light shouldn't be possible.
I just don't like the calluses
you don't like toe beans? You don't like
what?
Toe beans?
That makes me want it more.
Yeah.
Just to disturb you. Like, I wake up one day, hey man, how you doing? You got back pain? Want me to help with that?
Get away from me.
It's okay, just close your eyes.
I would rather have the back pain.
What's next? We have, I have broken up this arc into 4 parts because
it's
a saga, and it is 4 arcs, and it's fucking huge.
Okay.
Like, it's a massive saga. It is the biggest saga you've seen yet.
We're starting in the late 300s. What is the last episode?
Over 500.
Over 500?
Far over 500.
Interesting.
I'd say 550.
Holy shit.
Let me check
That's
again.
how much we have to watch.
200 episodes. Or like...
I mean, we already did.
Something.
I was going to say, in all fairness, we've already watched this amount. We've watched over 380 episodes.
Yes.
So to watch an extra, 200? That's nothing.
And it's all... But we're not watching them all in one go. Like, we're stopping... Like, next time it's going to be just one arc completed. Instead of all 4.
Let me see if I can find... I'll try to find real quick, before we leave, of how many episodes this arc is.
Oh, okay.
Because... Oh, well, first off, description. This is meant to be one of the biggest, like... oh fuck moments of like it's crazy. Like Chimera Ant is comparable.
Interesting.
This is where One Piece becomes this is where shit starts to shit the fan.
See, awesome.
This is where the fan hits the shit.
Yep.
The last episode of this entire arc is 516.
516. So you lied.
And we start at 385.
385 to 516.
That is
do the math.
150.
There you go, 150.
Pokemon! Almost. Or 150, 140, maybe? Basically around there.
Is that a legend?
You're just gonna leave that Mew.
Is that a legend to reference
Arceus?
There it is. Just gonna leave that Mew.
But,
yeah.
One of the most intense arcs for the entire crew.
Even though Mew came before Mewtwo.
Where everything... Oh, there'll be also an interesting bit of information that there's a massive group of characters that we meet throughout this arc that... weirdly enough, were not planned for this arc.
Interesting.
Originally, what happened was, like, Oda gave to his editor, he said, like, okay, here's my draft. And he said, okay, this seems a little barren. Try to add something. And he goes, okay, here's this crew. And now they're the most important characters ever.
That's funny.
All right, yeah, are you ready?
I'm ready! And goodbye, everybody! We're greenvillains, we're out of here.
No one is ready.
Actually, when I was...
Are you ready, Jinsu?
Wait... I was gonna do the Zoro taking that taste of the thing again.
Oh,
I also wanted to end the episode on the this is copyright, but we did that earlier, so I can't do it again.
Do it.
But what's your thought, Jinsu?
What's my thoughts?
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch that asshole get punched in the face.
Ooh.
Hell yeah.
This is copyright.
This is copyright.
Copyright, 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 and the episode! If you want to see more of our content, you can find our YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter on our linktree at linktree/greenvillains. That's linktr.ee/greenvillains.